Carlos King, Martell Holt, and the production team of LAMH Huntsville may seem like a minor conflict or TV drama to the average viewer, but in reality, the matter is much deeper than that. It's not just a show or a story, Twisty. It's a castle. A message not just for Martell, but for anyone who believes that reality TV fame equates to power. The reunion shoot and Martell's court case made it clear that no matter how important an actor is, this show always comes first. Without saying a word, Carlos King and his team delivered the message that this show can go on without you. Martell Holt has long considered himself the foundation of LAMH Huntsville. He's thought to be the one who gave birth to the show, standing by Melody Sherry when the idea was pitched to create a show about young black couples in Huntsville managing their own businesses and balancing married life. In the beginning, the audience was drawn in by his honesty, hard work, and emotional ups and downs. But as Martell and Melody's marriage begins to fall apart, the tone of the show changes forever. A story that revolved around success and partnership suddenly became one of pride, arrogance, and heartbreak, and in the middle of it all stood Martell Holt. The latest episode is a new installment in the same series. According to reports, the day of shooting for the show's reunion and the day of Martell's court appearance were fixed on the same date. As soon as this news came out, there was an uproar on social media. Fans questioned how this could happen. Why did the production team put such an important day and court date together? But as details emerged, people realized that it was not just a coincidence, but a thoughtful message. Whether the decision was made by Carlos King himself or not, the implication was clear. The production team's decisions are never gratuitous. Every step, every schedule has a purpose. Martell has long been embroiled in child support and legal issues with his ex-wife, Melody. The issue has become so serious that it is no longer just a part of the show, but is affecting her personal life. Every development in the court is reflected in the story of the show. When the reunion day collided with court day, seemed as if reality itself was testing Martell. The question was whether Martell would prioritize his duties as a father or his TV image. Will he be held accountable by going to court, or will he try to save his personality by participating in the show? According to reports, Martell excused the shooting, saying that her obligations on the show were more important to her. But the fans did not accept this. People on social media openly said that Martell is not running from the court, but from the truth. The reunion date didn't make her weak, it exposed her. Carlos King made it clear in that moment that no matter how important Martell was to the show, the system wouldn't stop for him. This realization was nothing short of a shock to Martell. For years, he believed that he was the linchpin of the show, that the story couldn't move forward without him. But this time, the production team has proved that no one is irreplaceable. Carlos King, one of the smartest and most experienced producers in the reality TV industry, always knows how to handle a story. His method is to strike a delicate balance between drama and reality, where conflict is the life of the show. That's why when people saw that the court and the shooting were held on the same day, many viewers immediately understood that Carlos had made this decision after thinking about it. The result was a social media debate. Viewer attention turned back to the show and questions about Martell's personality. This is not the first time that production decisions have caused controversy. Over the years, Carlos has been making decisions that sometimes benefit and sometimes harm others. But one thing has always been clear. Carlos King's show plays by its own rules. Martell Holt's story is no longer just the story of a TV show, now a lesson. He was once considered the most prominent face of LAMH Huntsville. Her charming style, business confidence, and seemingly strong marital relationship inspired millions of viewers. But as his arrogance and self-righteousness came to the fore, people began to see him as a villain. When Melody Sherry exposed her husband's infidelity, the audience's hearts immediately went to Melody. The tears in her eyes, the patience in her tone, and the dignity in her words represented every woman who has ever been through a betrayal or hurt. Martell Holt, by contrast, further highlighted his egotism and arrogance in every interview, every post, and every public occasion. Martell's problem wasn't that he made a mistake, was that he refused to admit it. He wanted the world to see him as he thought he was, an intelligent, successful, and charming person. But the truth was that his pride had become his biggest weakness. When Carlos King set the reunion date to court day, he wasn't just changing a date, he was changing the balance of power. The decision was a message that, Martell, you are no longer at the center of the story. You are just a character in the play who can be changed at will. Melody Sherry, meanwhile, was on a completely different path. She began to rebuild her life not as a battered woman, but as a strong mother, businesswoman, and independent figure. She was making a name for herself through her music, her skincare line, and brand collaborations. Where Martell had once been a hindrance to her success, she now shone in her own light. People sensed the contradiction. On one hand, Martell, who was mired in court, controversy, and social media drama, Melody, on the other hand, was moving forward with calmness, patience, and self-confidence. This contrast became the most interesting element for the viewers. Some people close to Martell say he's under intense pressure from the whole situation. His business deals are being affected, his reputation is being questioned, and even friends are distancing themselves from him. But there was no softening in his attitude. He still considers himself the affected party. Meanwhile, Carlos King's style is quiet but decisive. He never criticized Martell directly, but his decisions made everything clear. The show storyline now focuses more on Melody, Kimmy, Tu, and other characters. Martell's time in reunion episodes is getting less and less. Even in promotional clips, her presence has been limited. It's all a stark message to Martell. You don't own the story, you're subordinate to the production. Carlos King proved in his own way that the control in the TV industry is always with those who sit in the editing room, not with those who speak in front of the camera. Viewers have noticed this change too. He is now more connected to Melody and the other characters than to Martell. Pages supporting Melody on social media are growing by the day, while the comments against Martell are becoming more harsh. Interestingly, every time Martell tries to explain himself on social media, he faces more criticism. People see in his sentences not remorse, but self-pity. He fails to realize that the audience is now emotionally detached from him. An important fact here is that image is everything in reality TV. If your public image goes bad, no matter how important you are, the producers immediately replace you. Carlos King knows this all too well. He knows that the survival of the show lies in keeping viewers interested, and if that means taking an old character to the background, he doesn't think twice. That's why some observers say that Martell has now become a guest star on his own show. He was once the main character, but now his story has been integrated into the events of others. In the world of reality TV, the name Carlos King is considered a symbol of strength, intelligence, and understanding. He knows that viewers don't just connect with feuds, relationships, and satire, they connect with a touch of truth. He creates moments that feel real, no matter how much planning is behind them. Carlos did the same with Martell Holt. He did not directly speak against her at any point, but automatically limited her role by changing the direction of the show. Now Melody and other women have become the center of the story. She is shown to be strong, independent, and emotionally realistic, while Martell's character is portrayed as a man caught in the trap of his own making. For Carlos, the decision was not just for the benefit of the show, it's also part of his professional code. He has always said that in reality TV, the story is not about those who make the loudest noise, but about those who have the courage to speak the truth. Ever since Melody has opened up about the personal issues between her and Martell, she has won the trust of viewers. She is no longer seen as a victim, but as a victor. Melody's quiet strength and tenacity have made her a symbol of hope for every woman. For Martell, the situation is becoming more uncertain. He tried to save his reputation many times, posting videos on social media, explaining his position, even calling himself a misunderstood man. But every time the result was reversed, people began to see his words as excuses. Martell probably didn't realize that once you lie in front of a TV audience, they always remember. Reality TV fans aren't casual viewers. They pick up on the nuances. They remember when they told the truth, when they cried, when they lied, and when they turned away from reality. Carlos King used this aspect. He brings out Melody's honesty and pain and uses Martell's arrogance against her. Now, every time Martell comes on the show, viewers watch his behavior more than his words. They feel pride hidden behind every sentence. There have also been reports from within the production team that Carlos deliberately gave Melody more creative space. He is given the freedom to tell his own story.
In contrast, Martell's scenes are frequently edited so that his impact is limited. These are all seemingly small decisions, but in reality, it's a power struggle. Melody winning with her truth, Martell losing with his ego. Some of Martell's supporters still say that Carlos is biased against him, eating. But those who understand the politics behind the show know that this is not just a production, but a narrative war. Carlos knows that public sympathy is always with him who presents himself honestly. Although Martell spoke out against Melody several times, each time he was confused by his own words. He accuses Melody of acting up and lying, but when the truth comes out, his own positions are weakened. Meanwhile, Melody took a quiet but strong demeanor in court. She didn't reveal too much of her privacy, but what she did say, it touched the heart. That's the difference between making noise and showing the truth. One gets momentary attention.